Hey guys, this is MJK from WebStylePress.com. If this is your first time here, I share useful stuff for devs at this channel. Join this channel by hitting subscribe button and bell icon. Let's fetch some data from live resource and try out fetch with async await in multiple ways. So fetch is an API, web API. The fetch API provides an interface for fetching resource. It will seem familiar to anyone who has used XML HTTP request. But the new API provides a more powerful and flexible feature set. So first we use this one, XML HTTP request. But fetch API is more powerful, and now you should not use this method, and fetch API is a good way to go, and browsers support it. You do not need additional any kind of package or something for this. It will work out of the box. So fetch provides a generic definition of request and response. Fetch is a call, and it provides request and response. And you may have also used Axios, and that is also a good package. But if you don't want to use any package, then this is a good way to fetch resource from any live API or resource like that. Okay, so fetch JavaScript can send network requests to this server and load new information whenever it's needed. For example, we can use network request to submit an order, load user information, receive latest updates from the server. Fetch method is modern and versatile. All right, so let response await fetch URL. Okay, let's see here. So this is the async and await. There's a special syntax to work with promises in a more comfortable fashion called async await. So async is a keyword. Async functions. So functions can be async, and async is a keyword. It can be placed before a function. So you place the async before the function. And the word async before a function means one simple thing. A function always returns a promise. And then the await works only inside async functions. So this async keyword will be outside before function, and inside it there will be await. So await keyword, this is also a reserved special keyword. It makes JavaScript wait until the promise settles and returns its result. So it is good for fetching data, right? So it can be used with the fetch. And this is the JSON placeholder fake online REST API. You can use these URLs to fetch the data. We can use this URL, and we can fetch this data in our example. Okay, I have got this app created by using create react app. So to fetch the data, we need to store it in this state, and we need to call that function or call inside a hook called useEffect or component it did mount. But we are not using class based components, so useEffect and useState will work. Let's use hooks. Use state, use effect. So let's use useState. Here we will store our data, and we will set the data and set data. Our data will be stored here, and we can change that data by using this parameter. So is equal to use state. So it will be an object. So let's use this, and okay, so this will be our data state or storage, and below this we will have use effect, and use effect will be like this. And when you use effect hook, always remember, use this thing right here like this. Always use this, otherwise you will end up in infinite loops. Okay, here basically dependencies can be injected, the dependencies that can trigger a re-rendering component. So even if you don't have any dependency, use this thing and leave it blank, right? Okay, so here will be the get data. Let's create two functions, get data and load data. And let's use this load data function. Okay, so const load data is equal to arrow function, and let's use fetch straight away. So fetch is promise based, so fetch URL dot then and dot then. So let's get the response, response, response arrow function response.json, and then let's catch this in data, and then use this thing set data this one that we have got here from the response, this one, right? Okay, so let's try this. So let's it will have stored here. We hit this API endpoint, and then we take the response and convert it into JSON, and then we receive it in data, and then we are using this set data to store our data in this parameter, right? And you can, to remove the confusion, received data. Okay, here you go, right there. And now it will be stored here, and then this function is being called when the component will be mounted and will be rendered, and then this will run and it should have been stored here. Let's see what we are getting in console. So we have got an error. This is not the way to go. Here, this is the return. This cannot be here. Okay, let's put it here, and let's inspect and see what we have got in console. Okay, we got empty array, and then we have got 10 records, right? Okay, to improve this call and to introduce async and await to this method, what we can do is we can use async here before this function call. Okay, this keyword here, and then before fetch we can use await. And that's it. Here are our records. Let's display these records as well. Okay. So data is assigned a value but never used, no unused variables. So we have not used this. So let's do this now. Okay, so I want to call this data from here, this one. Okay, now it has got our data, and I am using it here. Let's map it. Dot map, and let's fetch the user div user dot name. I believe there was name, and let's see. All right, so we have got the name. Okay, so this is complaining that each child in a list should have unique key prob, so we have to provide the key. So key user dot id. Have we got the id there? Maybe let's console it and see what we had got. Okay, so we have got the id, we have got the name. All right, we can display more records from here. User dot username, and there is our username, right? Okay, so this user is nothing really. It can be a record. So now we will use record.id, record.name, and record.username, and it should work fine because this was the data, and it has got a list of data, right? So it has got records. This is an object, right? So we are mapping it, and we are naming kind of one record from it, and we can name it anything like user or record or anything, and you can use it there then. Okay, so this is one example. Let's use another. So this was load data. Let's create another function. And here we will have function get data. Okay, and this one. So const API, and our API to hit is this one, this URL. Let's paste it inside here, and this is our API, and then another const. This will be our result fetch API, right? So you can use this URL inside this one like this, but I am breaking it apart. I am using a different approach, and then I just stored this URL in the separate const, and then I'm using fetch, and then I'm giving this URL to fetch, to this fetch, and then const get result. So this was the result, and let's get result result.json, and then our set data, this one. We want to store the data here by using this. So set data get results. So we have got the errors. Okay, so result.json is not a function. Result.json is not a function. Okay, right. So now we use async await here, async, async keyword before the function, and then we will use await here before the fetch and before the result. Okay. Yes, now it worked. And let's say get results is not defined. Obviously it is block scoped. We can try it here. Nice. So guys, these are different ways you can use async await and fetch. And as you can see, just look at this. These methods are a little bit different. And this method required async and await, otherwise it was giving us problem, right? Okay, so see this is simple function with const, and then we used arrow function here, and we used async before it, and then we used fetch with await. Well, this thing works without async and await. This thing works, and because it returns promise, and it is fetch is promise based, so we used fetch URL and then dot then response.json, and then we receive the data and stored it in our state. But this thing is different. So this is function and function name. Then we stored the URL, API URL in different const. Then we use the fetch and we stored the fetch request in another const, and then we get the result, and we converted that result into JSON, and then we stored the result. So these are a little bit different. This method uses arrow function and this is simple function. So you can use whatever method that suits you. Both will work. And here is simple fetch with async await and storing data in this state, and then calling that data like this. Simple, right? Okay. Practice is the key, guys. Practice is key. Keep practicing, keep improving. That's it, guys. I hope you liked this video. If I missed anything or you have something to add, you can comment down below, ask questions related to this topic. And if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe to the channel and hit bell icon to receive updates. Join us on social media. Links are in the description below. Stay tuned for more updates. I will see you in the next video.